Hi, I'm Cole.
And I'm James.
And welcome to
Let's Talk Retro.
And today we're joined by a friend of ours. We're joined by Dave. Say hi, Dave.
Hello.
And today we're going to be looking at my top 10 Commodore 64 games.
Right, that's enough talking. Let's get to it.
In 10.
So this is 180 and basically it starts. This was released in 1986 by Mastertronic. The developers were Steve Pickford and David Whittaker. Zap 64 magazine, that was the magazine back in the day for the Commodore, gave this a score of 70% at the time of its release. So you had several computer-controlled opponents that were randomly chosen. And there was Delboy Desmond, Sure Shot Sydney, Devious Dave, Limp Wrist Larry.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Good name. Beer Belly Bill, Mega Mick, Tactical Towel, and Jammy Jim.
Jammy Jim.
Yes. So there's a nice 1980s bar setting.
Yeah, happy hour.
And basically it's one of those games where you just had this wobbly hand which you had to try and control, and just press the fire button to fire to that's got to be 100. Oh, that's got to be a 60. Only gave me 20. So this is a game.
His gut hanging out.
Yeah, I think we're playing Devious Dave here, aren't we?
Oh.
Yeah, this was a game that I had lots of fun with playing back in the day. Oh, that's a rubbish shot there. And I mean, there's not much more you can say about darts, really.
Nice. The music's quite lively.
Of course, back in the 80s, there was Bullseye on TV. That was a very popular programme that made darts popular here in the UK.
So what do you just play through like different people?
Yeah, you start off,
tournaments?
it's like a quarter-final, then a semi-final and the final. And the final you always play Jammy Jim, who was the world champion.
Wow, so you've always got to try and beat the world champion.
Yeah. That's the
Have
idea.
you ever done that?
I think I might have done back in the day. I'm pretty awful at it now. It's been a while since I played it. So that was my number 10, and we'll get on to number 9.
In 9th place.
Is Daley Thompson's Decathlon. Daley Thompson's Decathlon is based on Konami's Track and Field, which was very similar to this in many ways. It was developed and released by Ocean in 1984, just after Daley Thompson became quite famous for winning his Olympic gold medals in 1980 and 1984. So the first event that we're trying out is the 100 metres. And this is a real joystick breaker. You have to wiggle your joystick back and forwards. My favourite technique was to use the old Atari joysticks, which had a flat top, and put the top of the joystick in the palm of your hand and wiggle it back and forwards like that.
Hey, I can see some classy sponsorship there. Pepsi, Ocean, Woolworth, John Menzies. I don't know if you remember them. They're a good retailer of games.
Woolworths and John Menzies both gone now. So I can't remember what's the next event. It's the long jump. So again, you had to wiggle the joystick backwards and forwards as fast as you could, and then try and jump at the end. This could be a good attempt or a failed attempt. Well, it wasn't very far. Old Daley's walking off looking a bit sorry for himself there. And if I remember, yeah, here comes the guy with the tape measure, just measuring it out. And we need to get 11.8. Oh, we don't have to qualify. Qualify was 6.80. Not quite near the world record, which is 11.87.
I bet those records have been smashed now.
Yeah, I don't even know whether they're real records. He's still walking off looking a bit sorry for himself on the second attempt. But I used to love playing this in the day. Back in the day, I remember I used to go down my friend's Chris Curtis's house. Don't expect Chris is listening or watching, but hi Chris if you are. And we used to play them. Just a lot of memories of playing this down his house. So third attempt. Oh, there's a foul.
You fouled it up.
And so the next event is shot put. You need to get over 17.6 metres for the world record on this.
So was any skill involved, or was it just
waggling or clicking keys backwards and forwards as fast as you could? Oh, that wasn't very good. Oh. Was it enough to qualify? 13.9 to qualify, 14.7. Yeah, it's just lots of waggling the joystick about, really. Not much skill, I'm just pressing the button at the right time.
I wonder if those companies paid anything to have their names in this game.
Probably, that's a good one. It's a world record. The world record.
Wow.
Well,
I'm glad you got that on video.
I'm sure people have got further than that, but that's beat it by quite a distance, beat it by 10 metres.
It's all very samey, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we have obviously 3 attempts and then your longest one was recorded. Anyway, I think I'm going to snap my joystick, so let's get on to the next one.
Eight.
So this is Blitz, or actually it's Super Blitz on the Commodore 64. I also had this on the Commodore 16 where it was just called Blitz. Basically you've got to, your bomber plane sort of like out of control and you've got to land it. So you have to drop bombs to blow up the city below.
Hang on a minute.
So you can actually land your plane.
You're dropping bombs from a plane into a city. And what is that? What's that thing walking about down the... What's that, a gorilla or something?
That is King Kong.
Oh, right, okay.
Believe it or not.
So you're trying to kill King Kong?
Well, you're trying to just get flat in the city so you can land your plane. So you're basically kidding thousands of people so you can just save yourself.
Okay,
It's,
well, that's
probably
selfish.
wasn't, a bit selfish, and probably wasn't really worried about back in 1983 when this was published by Commodore themselves. As you'll see in a minute, if I knock down this building here like that, and King Kong climbs up one if there's nothing either side, and if you can hit him, then you get 200 bonus points. Go on, he's going to get, he got away with it. If you hit him, you get 200 bonus points.
This is bizarre.
I can tell you've never seen this game before.
I haven't, and it's obviously a very nice day because there's just one cloud.
One cloud that gets in your way all the time. Now this actually is not just one of my favourite games on the Commodore 64, it's one of my dad's and my mum's favourites. And the reason is just all you got to do is press the fire button or the space bar to drop the bombs.
And that's it?
Yeah. And so it's simple, so they can play it. And I got this recently again on the Commodore 64, and my dad was like, "What are you opening up a box of games again, is it?" And I was like, "Yeah, just a box of games." And I pulled this out and showed it to him. And he went running off down the corridor, shouting at my mum like a madman, going, "Love, love, he's got Blitz, Blitz! He's got love, love, he's got Blitz!" Made it sound like I sort of got some tropical disease called Blitz. So as you can see, it's quite tactical. You can't drop another bomb until the first one you've dropped is already sort of finished, and you've got to try and flatten them all until you don't. So I've got to get this one now. So if I don't get that one, would have gone into it. On the next
it's like
time
Space Invaders, whereas the invaders come down. Your airplane constantly moves, so you can't go up or down.
No, you
you don't do nothing.
No.
It just goes constantly at that pace, and you have to.
You can speed it up in the menu. You can choose it for it to go faster or slower, which makes it harder. But this is out on lots of different. I'm surprised you haven't come across it before.
No,
It's on.
never.
We've even got this on the Vectrix, although it's a homebrew. But as you can see, I'm in trouble now because I've got 3 that are the same height and I'm going to crash into them. So I'm only going to be able to get one of these probably. Yeah.
So it was a city, and now it's a.
So even though I've killed all these people in the city, I'm not even going to save myself.
Oh no!
So let's go on to number 7.
7, you're a Wally.
So this is Trolly Woolly.
What the crocodile hat is that? It's a monster getting kicked up the backside while it's dropped its A4 papers in a trolley.
It's a pea puss in a trolley.
It's a pea. It's a pea, is it?
Well, this was written by Andrew Chalice, published in 1984 by Interceptor Micros. And
oh, I recognise that tune.
Yeah, the background music was what I loved about this game. Even today, the hairs just stick up on the back of my neck as this is playing. This is Popcorn. It was by Hot Butter.
Yeah. Okay.
And also in the game there's Equinox Part 5 by Jean-Michel Jarre, which is a great hit back in the day. I love that. And the music was arranged by Graham Hansford, and for me the music is really what makes this game. It's just brilliant, and I just loved this back in the day.
So what is it, a pea with legs?
Well, it looks like a sort of Pac-Man, doesn't it? But yeah, a little pumpkin. But basically, the sort of like the background of the game is that it's obviously it's a platforming game which takes place in a huge supermarket, which you'd never guess, would you?
You know what supermarket?
No.
Quick Save, it looks like.
Where's this trolley?
Well, yeah, it's another thing. Yeah. So you have to do that switch there to open things up down the bottom. But there's things scattered around the supermarket which you have to pick up, and you can carry 5 things at a time. And once you've got 5 things, you have to take them to the
basket till that only accepts 5 items.
That's right, the 5-item till, which is over on the very right of the screen. It's quite hard to get to because this game, I'm actually making this look easy, but it is actually quite hard and unforgiving. If you hit the green stuff that's on the roof, you die. If you just drop off a platform, you die. You can use the slides like this, so that's not too bad. And there's lasers that can hit you and all sorts of things. There you have to jump across because this platform at the bottom just takes you straight back. So I've got 3 items, 1 more item, and I need to go to the checkout.
I've never seen something so mad.
It's just the bit of lasers. But anyway, this is a great game, but let's get on to number 6.
Vroom, 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 6!
So this is Kickstart II, and not only was it just Kickstart II, but it had a construction kit so you can make your own courses. It was also 2-player, where the original Kickstart game was just 1 player. So that's why I prefer Kickstart II to Kickstart. This is obviously based, for those of you that are in the UK would know, on the TV show. It was presented by Peter Purvis, and as I remember rightly, it was often won by a guy called Dougie Lampkin. He was like the #1 trials motorcyclist back in the day. So basically, just like the TV show, you had to go over lots of obstacles to show your skill. I'm on the top, the computer controlled characters on the bottom, as you can tell, because I've just fallen off. So do you remember this, James?
I remember the TV show. So yeah, you had teenagers mostly on little trial bikes going over courses.
That's right.
I don't remember spikes though in the TV show, so maybe the BBC didn't allow that.
No, I think this is slightly exaggerated. I'm doing quite well, so I could win this. I'm going to win it. I don't think I've ever beat the computer on this before.
It's a bit like the old Game Boy game, Motocross. Is it Motocross Mannix?
Yeah, I remember something like that. So this is course 2 now, and we'll just have a quick go at this before we move on to number 5. But I just loved this back in the day, playing it around my friend's house. We'd play 2-player, them on the bottom, me on the top. And it was lots of fun, even though it was extremely hard, as you can see. And we just used to love this back in the day. It was just a great game.
It just looks like you get chucked off for no reason. You hit like a piece of grass and...
Well, you have to really sort of play it to get the hang of it and to master it. And I don't think I ever did, to tell you the truth.
I don't think I'd have the patience for this.
So it's just a great game. And am I actually going to finish this course? I am.
Number 5!
So this is IK Plus, or International Karate Plus, and also known in the US as Chop and Drop. So do you remember this one, James?
I do. I had this on the Amiga. I think this is an Archie McLean game.
It is. Archie McLean was also well known for his snooker and pool games. And the actual music on this is done by what I like to call the master of the Sid chip. Do you know who that is?
No.
It's done by Rob Hubbard.
Oh, of course, yeah, the name is about.
He did a lot of games back in the day. I think he did things like Commando, Monty on the Run, Warhawk. Just some of the games that I can think of off the top of my head. So in this game, it's the first one to try and get to 6. If you see the little dots at the top, that's showing what we're getting up to. And now I just dropped my trousers. I was trying to do that. You have to press. I think it's. I can't remember what I pressed now. I pressed the S and A, T and S or something like that, and you can drop your trousers. So, but yeah, once you get to 6, whoever's in the lead at the end of the round, sort of like that's the number to say. For example, now red and white will be staying in, blue's yet to score. A little bit hard to explain what's going on.
There's 3 people battling it out, and there's a genie ref that appears from nowhere, and he awards who is the best fighter.
Yeah, so white and red are going through. And
As
I'm white, I get the bonus round. I get to try and deflect these balls. Never very good at this, and I'm still not very good at it. We'll have another round, and we'll see if we can get to that again. See if I can do a little bit better. So, like I say, it's basically if you played it, you can only have 2 players playing it. So the third person was always controlled by the computer. And I'm down lid on my back again.
Was it always the same background, or did that change?
I think on the other versions it changed, but on the Commodore 64 it was always the same. I think there's a way of actually changing, if you press certain buttons, of changing the colour. But the background on the Commodore 64 version definitely always stayed the same. See if I can. I'm not. Blue's winning with 2. See if I can get. I've got 2. We've all got 2 each now. I need to score. Yes, I'm winning. I'm actually winning. Come on. I'm headbutting nothing.
Headbutts. Yeah, there's not enough games with headbutts.
Oh, red's won. So, but I'm still in because I've got more than blue. It's time for another bonus round, so I'm going to do a bit better this time. Concentrate on this one.
Is that a bin lid that he's holding?
It sounds like it.
Yeah. We just found a random bin lid. Hey.
Ooh.
Doing well now. Oh.
Oh.
It's Bruce Lee. No, it's gone.
Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
4.
Okay, this one's Eurydium. This was developed by Andrew Braybrook and released in 1986 by Hewson. It's a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up that consists of 15 levels, each named after a metal element, with the last level being called Eurydium, which is a fictional metal element, believe it or not. Not to be confused with Iridium, which sounds very similar and is a proper metal element. But your spaceship, which is a Manta-class space fighter, flies just above the sort of, well, I always called it a space station, but it's actually called a dreadnought. And each dreadnought has a different configuration of walls and other structures that you must negotiate in order to reach the landing zone. This task is hampered by squadrons of enemy fighters which attack you as you fly. Homing missiles and mines that are released by flashing ports on the dreadnought surface that cannot be destroyed, so you must outrun them. When enough of the dreadnought's defences have been destroyed, the land now signal is activated and you are allowed to slow down your speed and land on the landing zone. So I'm actually doing quite well at the moment at this point, and there we go, I've managed to land.
Hey, it looks pretty quick.
It's quick, it's very, I mean, the graphics look great, I think, for a Commodore 64 game. It's got sort of great motion, or I don't know what you call it, scrolling
yeah.
and the way it sort of the way the spaceship turns is just brilliant. It's sort of, you know, really good for the time. So you could, at this point, you could shoot anything that was left that you'd missed as the dreadnought blew up, and you went on to the second one. So we'll have a quick go on this one. And I think this one's, if I remember right, is iron or something like that. Oh no, it's actually lead. It's the first one iron. I think the first one was iron then. Or there's, I've got to outrun that. That's it.
That was a homing missile.
Yeah, it was like a homing missile, yeah. And you can blow it like the little ships that are on the sort of deck, which I'm doing now. This was really hard. I don't think I've ever got to like past level 6, even back when I was like younger playing this all. I've got one go left. It's just the way the animation of the ship, the way it's sort of rotated. This was like really good for the time.
You can just tell this would have took a lot of good programming.
Yeah, well, it's game over, so I'll just enter my name and we'll move on to the next one.
Three.
So we're up to number 3, and as I'm sure you can all tell by the theme tune, this is Ghostbusters. By David Crane, who was also responsible for Pitfall and Pitfall 2, which were 2 of my favourite retro games of all time. This was released by Activision in 1984, and you start your own ghostbusting business because ghosting makes you feel good, James.
Does it? This is kind of like the NES version, and you know how terrible that was.
Oh, I used to just love this. I think it was all part of the the film and the vibe at the time. Ghostbusters was just huge when it came out. I remember going and seeing it at the cinema. And so you start off in the city, and you've got to, at the moment I'm having to go back to HQ and I had to go back and get some more men. Now I'm on the way, when you can set the ghosts up with your Hoover if you had one on your vacuum cleaner.
So you have to pick up ghosts on this driving bit?
You could pick them up on the driving bit, yeah, if you went by them. Then when you got to the place, there's the ghost, so you set your trap.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was never that good at this, so have a go, and I've missed him. We'll see if we can get the trap to get him anyway.
So did you control both the Ghostbusters?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
did you put one up and... Oh, I see.
Oh, I've missed.
Oh, he's gonna... Oh, did he just...
Yeah, so he slimed me.
Wow.
Let's have another go. Let's try. There's obviously supposed to be a ghost down at this place.
So you've got to drive to everything?
Yeah. It's a good job I got enough traps with me. So let's have a go and see if we can get this one. If we can get this one, then we'll move on to number 2. Yes, yes, got him. Haven't lost it.
Slam it into.
So this is International Basketball. This was created by Andrew Spencer and released by Commodore in 1984. And basically it was a 1 or 2 player basketball game. Zap 64, who I mentioned earlier in this episode, who were the best magazine for Commodore 64 games in my opinion. Like this so much they gave it 92%.
Wow, that's high.
It is high, especially for Zap 64. They used to be a bit stingy at times with their reviews. So once the cheerleaders are gone, you've obviously selected 1 or 2 player game and what colour you want your teams to be. And you got on with a game of basketball. This is another game that I used to play with my friend Chris Curtis. Used to play this down his house. He used to have this. I'm the proud owner of this on cassette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny's Funk.
Oh yeah.
Who are they?
I don't know. I don't know whether the sponsors were proper on this. Obviously Commodore were. And you probably noticed there's a bit of a delay back there because I was having to swap. Well, I was telling you, I was having to swap joystick ports.
Oh right, okay.
One of the things about the Commodore 64 is not every game was in the same joystick ports. You had to,
annoying.
yeah, you almost like started a game and then realised you had to switch it over. A bit of a pat of cake going on there. And it actually looks quite slow, but when you're playing it, it's quite a good representation for the back in the time. When you think how old this is, sort of 1984.
To me, it's like they're all in different coloured jerseys.
Well, the thing is, the guy who's you're controlling is slightly coloured, like that pink colour is the one I'm controlling. Yeah,
that makes sense now.
So that's why. That must have been nearly a 3-pointer there. That guy's just standing there with the ball. But when you're playing 2 players, you against your mate, you can have great fun with this game. At the moment, the ball seems to be spending more time out than what it was actually in the court. Come on, let's tackle him. Where's he going? I thought I was going that way. It's going completely the wrong way. The computer was there.
Hey, it says what type of foul it is.
Yeah.
The walls and they're blue.
Got something against that?
No, nothing. No.
But like I say, this is just a game. It's not like probably the sort of class. I don't know what you say.
No NBA Jam.
Yeah, yeah. But it's for back in the day, it was just a great game that I really enjoyed playing. And I say obviously Zap 64 agreed on me giving it such a high score. Yes.
Oh, nothing but net.
Nothing but net. So we're just trying to score a few more points before we move on to number 1. Any ideas what number 1 could be?
Nope.
No.
I know it's going to be a surprise.
There's obviously there's lots of games on the Commodore 64 that it could be, and there's lots of games that could have been in this top 10 that never made it. Just want to try and score one more to the basket without getting on everyone's nerves too much. So we go, yes, get in.
Come on, you won!
Yes, so number 1, as you will see, is a double whammy for Andrew Spencer. He's got number 1 and number 2 on my top 10. And this is International Soccer, which was released in 1983, so a year before the basketball. And Zap 64 are a bit stingy on their score with this one because they only give this 86%. But I just love football. As everyone might know, I'm a Reading fan, so obviously playing in blue today, playing as Reading. Had a bad result again the other night. Getting used to those this season. So anyway, once the game kicks off, every game was a cup final, by the way. So it was actually in the other countries it was called cup final, not international soccer. And again, for back in the day, this was a great game that you could have sort of 2-player fun with a buddy. And again, it was my friend Chris Curtis and his cousin Dave used to play this with as well. And you could head the ball like the computers do it now. Yeah, they could do that. I could do that back in the day. I don't know whether I can now.
I've noticed it's the same sound effect for the ball in this as it was in the last game in basketball.
Well, there's no point sampling a different sound if you've got one that's good enough.
True.
Just someone hitting a plastic pipe.
Yeah, as people would know from some of the sound effects we use in this. And good job my goalie skills are still up to scratch. Chris used to often beat me on this, so my goalie skills are obviously fairly good because he used to have more shots usually than what I did. And that's great save.
Does he jump up like that every time you?
Well, you have to press the button to get him to do it to make him save. And
is it one of these football games where it swaps to the goalie when you get near?
That's right, yeah. And again, it's like you've got a slightly different coloured jersey for the guy that you're actually controlling. Like that's lighter blue I am now, or some more mauve colour. I'm going to go up, see if I can have a shot. One thing this actually did is it actually didn't have any offside.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
The offside rule didn't exist, but that makes it more fun. I think the offside rule shouldn't exist in football anyway, make it a lot more fun. Go on, yes, get in. As his goalie died way too early. So that's 1-0. And what we're doing a few minutes, I'll just skip it forward a little bit. And like we are now, we'll see I'm winning 2-0. I just want to show you what happens at the end when you win the cup final. And a great shot, and that's 3-0.
Oh, he died late.
Yeah. And just want to show you what happens at the end when you win the cup. What I'm about to do is only 1 second left. There's the final whistle.
They go straight off. They don't straight to the dressing room to go home.
No, they don't go home. no shaking hands or anything. No, is there? Not very sportsmanship. No. Not very sportsman friendly. So as I won, you'll see what happens. Big surprise. You come straight back out.
Where's the ball gone?
Well, we're coming out to receive the cup.
Okay.
In a minute, the Queen or the Princess will come out and give us the cup.
Wow.
Here she is.
Wow.
But that was
bizarre.
Another great game. I just really enjoyed playing that. So that's game over for this episode, and that was my top 10 Commodore 64 games. I hope you enjoyed watching those. And we also got a big thanks to Dave for coming along today and doing the numbers for us. Couldn't have done it without you, Dave.
Thank you.
And so until next time, I've been Colin.
I've been James.
And what you got to do, Dave?
Keep it retro.
So guys, that's my Commodore 64 top 10, and James may have mocked this Trolly Woolly game but it's still one of my favourites. I love the music on it. And but you must have a different top 10 to me, surely. There's so many great Commodore 64 games out there to choose from, so please drop your top 10s in the comments down below. I'd love to see them. And until next time, don't forget to subscribe and keep it retro.